I think I'm about to make Lions fans very, very mad with what I'm about to say. But before I tell you, super quick, massive shout out to your average horror fan for the suggestion of today's video. Go drop them a sub. Their link is in the description. And if you want a shout out just like that one, all you gotta do is subscribe and let me know what team to do next. And then of course, when I pick your comment, I'll give you a shout out. Tell everyone to go sub to you. I'll even drop you a sub. And I'll rebuild the team you want me to. So it's a win-win. But again, I'm just gonna assume we easily hit the like goal on the last video because y'all are goated. So if we can hit 250 likes on today's rebuild, I'll have another one of these cooked up by Thursday. And imagine if everybody liked, I mean, we would be at like 2,000 likes, and you're part of that someone, so if you do it, we will easily hit the goal. And also, thank you for 3.3K, already pretty well past that. Let's see if we can get to 3,350 off of this video. Again, if you do it, we would very easily hit it and probably hit like 4K, so if you want to be an OG of the channel, then that's your way to do it. But that's enough plugging. I've been low-key dreading building this team because I'm gonna be honest about how I feel about this team, and I just know that people aren't gonna be very happy with how I feel about this team. So I've been low-key putting it off a little bit, but I am finally rebuilding it. So with that, let me tell you what I think of this Lions team. So overall, I do think they have a good roster. I mean, you know, you have good players like Aiden Hutchinson, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Malcolm Rodriguez was good last year, Cameron Sutton is a good corner, you have really good safeties here in general, your offensive line is really good, your receiving core on paper is pretty good, your running back room is solid, Jared Goff was pretty good last year, but I think this team absolutely fucking threw the draft. Now, this isn't like a different opinion or anything, there are lots of other people that thought that, but I just don't know what the hell they were doing. You have two first round picks in a year where you can take this team from being, you know, known as the Lions, one of the worst teams in the NFL, to actually having a really good roster. And what you do in the first round is take the least valuable position on offense with, I think, the 12th overall pick, and the least valuable position on defense with, I think, the 18th overall pick, something like that. And not to mention, both of the players you got in the first round are players you could have gotten in probably the second round or a very comparable player in the second round. I don't know what they were doing. Jahmyr Gibbs was their first pick. I liked Jahmyr Gibbs, possibly more than most people, but to take him just 4 picks later than Bijan Robinson, like one of the best running back prospects maybe ever, is kind of crazy. Taking running back first round in general is really questionable, especially early first, and especially with a guy that, again, you could have probably gotten in the second round, and if not, probably a really comparable player. I think he will be good. I've seen comparisons to like Alvin Kamara. I don't think he's Alvin Kamara. I don't know if he's gonna be that good, but maybe. And not to mention, you already had DeAndre Swift. Of course, you traded him away now. I don't know how Lions fans feel about him, but I thought he was a solid player. You already invested like a borderline first round pick into him a few years ago. I mean, hell, with that pick, you could have taken like a receiver. You could have taken like Jackson Smith and Jigba. You could have taken an interior defensive lineman. This defensive line is really bad. You could have taken like Christian Gonzalez. You could have taken fucking, I don't know, pretty much whoever. You could have honestly taken a better QB than Hendon Hooker in the first round to eventually replace Jared Goff. Like, I know people hate Will Levis, but he's a really high upside guy. And here with this really good offensive line, good receiving group, and I think good coaching with years to sit, he could have become like a legitimate top 5 quarterback. And I'm not bullshitting you. He has that kind of upside. You could have done literally anything else with this pick, and I probably would have liked it more. Again, I think Jahmyr Gibbs will be good. It's not about him being good. It's just positional value, it being a reach, and so many other good players on the board. And running back wasn't even really a fucking need for you. Like, I don't understand that pick at all. And then the Jack Campbell pick, I think linebacker might be the most or least valuable position, like, in the NFL, outside of, I guess, like, long snapper or something. Like, the Chiefs last year, they won the Super Bowl with Nick Bolton as their number one linebacker, and he's good for sure, but they didn't invest a first-round pick into him. The year before, the Lions won the Super Bowl with, like, Ernest Jones as their number one linebacker, and really nobody else. Clearly didn't invest much there. Like, you don't really need linebacker to be a good team, and good teams don't invest much into linebacker. Have y'all ever noticed that? It's because it's not super valuable unless you're getting like a true game-changing player, and I don't really think Jack Campbell can be that. He's like a good run defender. He's not really athletic though at all, and I don't know why you take that in the first round. It's not like it was a crazy need for you either. I mean, Alex Anzalone is fine. Malcolm Rodriguez had a good rookie year. Again, you could have just gone so many other places with that pick. I'm realizing I'm spending way too much time talking about this. It bothers me that they could have taken this from like a bordering on good team to like a really, really, really good team. I think they'll be good this year, don't get me wrong, but I think it could have been better if they made some better decisions here. But I mean, through the rest of the draft, you did well. You got Brian Branch. I thought that was a really good pick. Sam Laporta, you needed a tight end. I liked that pick for sure. I guess I'm gonna have to bench Jameson Williams. Also, I don't know what Madden did. They changed like faces in the game, and now there's just a gray box around Jameson Williams. I guess they put him in jail for gambling. I don't fucking know. But I guess we're gonna have to bench him for like the first 6 games, and then I'll put him in just to be realistic. Oh yeah, you also took Hendon Hooker, which I'm not a very big I think Hendon Hooker would be good if he wasn't already like 25. He's gonna be 26 by the time he actually is healthy. So Lions fans are gonna hate me. I've accepted it. I understand it. I'm not insulting you as a person. I just don't understand what the fuck this team did in the first round. You had a chance to be good and you threw it in the trash. No, I still think they'll be good, but again, they just could have been really, really good if they did almost anything other than what they did in the first round. But that's definitely enough talking about the team, more than enough, more than I think I've ever done. Now that everybody hates me, let's get into the rebuild. I can already see the comments, and with that, I'll see y'all at the midseason point of year number 1. Alright, well, at the midseason point of year 1, we're actually 3-3, which is maybe somewhat realistic. I think they'll probably be a little better than that, but I think they will be kind of around here. And some interesting things actually happened with the team throughout the year. So in the preseason, God, that looks so weird. Jameson Williams went up to Superstar Dev. He got mentored in the preseason by Among Us St. Brown, which is he really even like experienced enough to be a mentor? Like he's 23 in real life. I mean, he's really good, sure, but like he doesn't really have the experience, but fair enough. Superstar Dev for Jameson Williams now, and CJ Gardner-Johnson just hit a breakout like 2 weeks ago. I did move him to corner, by the way. I do expect him to play nickel. They have so many goddamn safeties, so this is what I did here. I'm starting Brian Branch because I gave him Superstar Dev. Kirby Joseph has star, so I'm starting him at strong safety, and then Tracy Walker, I kind of have him as the number 3 sub linebacker and the number 2 slot I have Brian Branch as the number 2 slot corner, but when Brian Branch goes to play slot corner, if Gardner-Johnson is taking a play off, Walker will just come in at free safety. So I'm trying to get all of them snaps if I can. It's hard to, but I did find a way. So overall, we're doing fairly well. And for re-signings here, does James Houston need a contract? Well, we'll definitely bring him back. He was a really good rookie. We will go player friendly. That's really cheap. But yeah, we'll try player friendly. He re-signs. I kind of want to give him a dev trait, but I know people don't like when I give players dev traits. I just feel like he kind of deserves it. Like, nah, I don't know. I won't. People complain whenever I give players dev traits. And then we have a breakout defensive lineman. We've been getting a ton of, almost said upgrades, a ton of breakouts this year. And it's going to be for Levi Onwuzurike. Hold the Dolphins to less than 100 rushing yards. That might be hard. Or get Levi Onwuzurike 1 interception. Probably not going to happen. Force fumble, tackle for loss, or sack. Very doable. I mean, I could see him getting like a tackle for loss or something. And then I don't normally show this, but national focus position. Let's go receiver. This team definitely needs more receiver help. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but in real life they probably do because Jameson Williams is going to be out for half the year, but I think they have a solid group there. I mean, they have Josh Reynolds, they signed Marvin Jones back, they have Khalif Raymond, like, that's a good enough group. But for us, those 3rd, 4th, and 5th receivers aren't exactly young, so I definitely do want to draft a younger receiver and try to develop him. But I'm rambling a ton in this rebuild. I'm sorry. Let's simulate the week. I doubt we win here, nor do we really deserve to. I mean, the Dolphins have an 83 overall to our 78, but I want to see if we can hit the breakout. Okay, Jesus, we got absolutely destroyed, but do we hit the breakout? Probably not. Okay, no, but I don't know if it would have mattered too much. Even with a star dev, I don't know how much he would have developed, so it is what it is. Okay, well, Madden simulation definitely did not favor us. We finish 6-11. Not great. I mean, I definitely am a little lower on this team than most people are, but they're definitely better than that, and I definitely do think they are a playoff team. Speaking of someone I'm lower on than most people, Jared Goff does do really well here. 4,500 yards almost, 38 touchdowns. 13 picks is fairly high, but not too bad. Only a 61% completion percentage, though. He was good for sure. For Madden, this isn't like anything crazy, because, I mean, Madden simulation is off a fucking perk with some of the QBs they have do well. Like, Joe Burrow throws 51 touchdowns here. I think you see what I mean. Like, well, honestly, this isn't as extreme as I normally see. Like, Goff was 7th in passing touchdowns. I mean, I've seen Jacoby Brissett throw 55 touchdowns one season, so honestly, comparatively pretty good year for Jared Goff. Rushing, oh yeah, I switched Jahmyr Gibbs to be the starter at like the midseason. I probably should have started him the whole year. I don't know why I didn't do that, but 593 yards for him, 3.9 yards per carry, not great. 8 touchdowns though. David Montgomery, 650 yards, 4.1 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. So honestly, I've had much worse, at least in terms of yards per carry. So I think these two could be our running back group for the remainder of the rebuild. We'll see. Receiving was not great. It was really spread out, like your mother is for me. Among Us, St. Brown, almost 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Sam Laporta as a rookie, who I didn't even really talk much about, but I did like that pick, although it's another not super valuable position with tight end. I mean, they really needed one, so I'm definitely not going to knock that pick, but why the fuck didn't they take like a defensive lineman or like interior offensive lineman or a receiver or something a little more valuable? But either way, 900 yards for him, 6 touchdowns. Jamison Williams with 845 and 6. Josh Reynolds with 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. Even Marvin Jones got 460 yards. So good receiving stats there, but still no 1,000-yard receiver, so that's not great. Ooh, the offensive line was horrendous. There was nobody here that I can point to and say they did even decently well. Holy shit. I see why this team failed. One of the best looking offensive lines in the NFL plays like that. Thank you, Madden. Very cool. On defense, Jack Campbell led the team with 145 tackles, 122 for Malcolm Rodriguez, and then 103 for Cam Sutton and 102 for CJ Gardner-Johnson. Our defense must have been on the field a crazy amount, or they had to have been getting beat a lot to get those kind of tackle numbers. That's kind of crazy. Tackles for loss, we also had a ton. 13 from Romeo Okwara, 11 for Hutchinson and McNeil and Onwuzurike, and 10 for Jack Campbell. And then sacks, 8 for Aiden Hutchinson, but outside of him, there were like none. I like Romeo Okwara a lot in real life. He just can't stay healthy, and he does not do well here. When healthy, he's like one of the most underrated players in the NFL. It's just never healthy. You know what? I'm going to do this. Let me give him traits, so hopefully he can do a little better, maybe? Although he already has like the pass rush moves, so I don't know if that'll even help, but we'll see. Should be playing better than that though, good lord. And then interceptions, 4 for CD Deuce, 2 for Malcolm Rodriguez and Emmanuel Mosley, and then 1 for a few players. So definitely a really disappointing year. Joe Burrow wins MVP. That's not surprising. We saw his season. It was disgusting. What is surprising is Jared Goff wasn't up here. I mean, the interceptions were high and the completion percentage was a little low, but he was good. But like I said, Madden quarterbacks are just juiced for some reason. Offensive player of the year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp as per usual. No Lions, unfortunately. Defensive player of the year goes to Aaron Donald as per usual. No Lions up here. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Drake London, but the actual rookie of the year goes to Bijan Robinson. Sam Laporta at number 8, which is technically number 3, so that's pretty cool. And Jamison Williams at 10. And then Jack Campbell, like he usually does in year 1, wins defensive rookie of the year, so that'll give him a dev trait. Aiden Hutchinson at 2, even though he's not a rookie anymore, and Malcolm Rodriguez at 3 again, even though he's not a rookie anymore. So we top 3, and that'll be pretty huge to get Jack Campbell a dev trait. I'm really happy about that. What kind of a Super Bowl is that? Most of the time, at least with the Super Bowl, Madden has somewhat realistic teams in it, but the Commanders versus the Raiders? What? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think both of those teams will be better than they were last year, but definitely not Super Bowl teams. What the fuck? Oh yeah, and Mr. Jack Campbell actually went up to Superstar Dev, looking really nice. What made him get Superstar? Well, he just got Star Dev, I guess, and then got Superstar for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know why he got the Star Dev, just for playing well in general, so we'll definitely take that. And then for re-signings, I don't really think I'm gonna bring anybody back. I mean, I could bring the Money Badger back, but he's not interested. It would be hard to get him back. We could find a better kicker. I guess Brock Wright started like half the season for the Lions last year, right? After they traded TJ Hawkinson, but I mean, I think the third tight end they have, what's his name? James Mitchell? Yeah, James Mitchell. I was gonna say Elijah Mitchell, but that's the 49ers running back. I actually like James Mitchell more than I like Brock Wright. I feel like they should have started him last year, but it is what it is. So with that, I don't think we're gonna re-sign anybody there, and let's upgrade this team through free agency. All right, this is probably gonna be the most boring free agent class I've ever had. It's almost more boring than doing nothing. There isn't really anybody here that would help us. I mean, Michael Thomas, there are lots of teams interested. He's not interested in the team. He's expensive. I'm good. Tony Pollard, they obviously invested a lot in Jahmyr Gibbs. We already have David Montgomery. It doesn't make sense. Jadeveon Clowney, I was thinking about, but he's really expensive and he's not interested. Just there's really nobody here that does much for us now, or could they in the future. So what we're gonna do is go after a kicker and a fourth receiver. Actually, probably like sixth right now, but by the end of the rebuild, I think he'll be the fourth. It's going to be Matt Gay for obvious reasons. I mean, amazing name. I get him a lot in rebuilds. And then Isaiah Hodgins. I like him in real life. I liked him a lot coming out of college. Definitely proved me right in the playoffs last year, but here he'll just be our fourth guy. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Let's see if either of these two sign. It looks like we get both of them. I would say cool, but also I don't really care. All right, well, here in the draft, the Steelers have the number 1 overall pick. We pick at number 5. I had to go and trade away like a good amount of the picks because these are still obviously this year in real life's picks, like from this last draft that just happened. So the Lions had 2 first-round picks in that, so I had to go and trade one of those back to the Rams, but it all worked out. I got it all figured out. Unfortunately, the Seahawks just took the player I wanted in Paul Martin. I want to die. And now I don't really know what to do. Oh god, this is giving me like flashbacks to the one rebuild I did where I ended up taking like a 72 overall tackle with the number 1 overall pick. Because I want to trade down right now because there isn't really anybody we need here, but I'm sure the picks won't be good enough. Oh yeah, let's trade down from 5 to 8 for a 3rd round pick next year. This game sucks. In what world is that a fair trade? Hold up, I want to plug that in. Okay, I'm going to plug that in here. It's pick 5 for pick 8 in 72, and this one has even less value because it's next year and it's not guaranteed to be a high 3rd round pick, so we could honestly probably call it 82 or lower. What does this think? Trade A gives 1700 value, trade B is 1580. That's not even as bad as I thought it would be, but still, no, absolutely not. I really just don't know what to do with this pick though. I think I might actually take this pick. They're projected to win the Super Bowl next year. I don't know about that. That 19th overall pick is the pick we had to give back to them because we shouldn't have had it this year, but we might get it back. This is arguably worse value than this trade right here. However, I do think that 1st round pick next year could be really good because typically the Rams with my custom rosters do decent year 1 and then kind of suck and then suck again, and then they're pretty good by year 4 from what I remember. So I guess this is the pick we're gonna take. I feel like it's just terrible value, but at least we're getting another 1st, and I don't know what to do here at all, and I'd rather trade down than force myself to take a desperation pick. I feel like I will genuinely make a better pick at 19 than I will right here. So let's trade it down. We're gonna trade with the Rams again. I know that whole thing was weird. I feel like I explained why I did it pretty well, and with this pick, these These are some good looking players, honestly. McCarthy, Fredrickson, Demetrius Madison looks good. Even Cofield might be pretty good. I think we can find someone decent here. This might be really bizarre, and it is kind of a reach, but Will Chason looks really good. He's 6'4", 299, 21 years old, out of Oklahoma. Not super quick, but that's not terrible for his size. 34 bench reps at the combine, 35 at his pro day. The more I look at his combine, the more I realize it wasn't great, but his ratings are really good. Unless there's like a really good defensive tackle, I might go with him. Ooh, I kind of think Joshua Callaway might be better. He's bigger and faster and stronger. Is he harder? I don't know. That's something for me to find out in the future. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not gonna fuck the Madden generated players. Maybe. But what's wrong with me today? Joshua Callaway does look pretty decent. Overall, really good ratings. He's 6'5", 318, 21 years old, out of USC. Is this the right pick? I don't know. Is it the one I'm gonna take? Yes. Okay, he has hidden at the very least. 92 strength, 76 speed, 86 excel, wearing number 69 too. That is one nice pick. I think I handled this pretty well. You know, the more I do these rebuilds, the better I get at drafting, I guess. I mean, sometimes I just get put in bad situations, and that wasn't a bad one necessarily because we had a high pick. It's just I had no idea what to do. And I think it went pretty well, hopefully. With this pick, I am gonna go Jimmy Townsend. He's the fastest left guard still available. He's not crazy fast, but his pro day 40 time was pretty good at a 4.93, 34 reps on the bench, good 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle, and his ratings are overall good. No power to his game, but that's fine. We run an agile scheme. He's 6'2", 324, 22 years old, out of Oregon. I didn't mean to start Graham Glasgow at center last year. I meant to start Hal Vaitai, but I don't think Hal Vaitai would have been much better either way. And now we're replacing both of them, so let's take Jimmy Townsend. Normal dev, unfortunately. That's kind of surprising, but I do think he'll be a decent overall. This is a harder team to draft for than I expected. It's just way more filled out than I realized, like your mother is. D. Cox, that's a great name. We don't need a corner at all, but this guy does look good. He ran a 4.35, 15 reps on the bench, 4.32 at his pro day. Bad play rec, but everything else looks solid for a corner. You know what? It's a funny name. I'm immature. Let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately. Okay, I shouldn't have said I've gotten better at drafting, but either way, he could be a good overall. We'll have to see. And it's the third round. Who really cares? Charles Johnson. Oh God, weren't there like 4 in the NFL at the same time in like 2015 or something? Maybe I'm completely wrong, but it just felt like it. Because there was the receiver, there was the defensive end, wasn't there like not a practice squad, but like a low level like linebacker named Charles Johnson too? I don't know. Maybe not, but it just felt like there were a million. I really wanted edge in this class, but there weren't any really good looking ones at all. I mean, the one that went like 4th overall I wanted, but he got taken a pick before us. Let's go Matt Tate. He could be good, but typically if you're not getting a first round pass rushing outside linebacker, they're not going to be good. Poor acceleration. That's kind of surprising. His combine just wasn't good. He's probably not a good player, but we're desperate for edge, so let's take him. Normal dev. God damn it. All right, well, I said I'm getting better at drafting. This definitely wasn't my best, but it wasn't bad. Joshua Callaway is a 75 overall, obviously hidden dev. Not very good power moves, but overall good run defense, really good strength. Was technically probably good value for where we got him. I mean, hold on, let's see. Let's check it out. He was the 19th overall pick, and he was tied for the 8th best overall player in the draft. So yeah, that was good value. Oh God, I hope we didn't give the Rams like a monster. Okay, he has normal. Okay, good. I was thinking about taking a QB, but I didn't, and that might have been a good move because that's probably who I would have taken. Not that he can't be good, but normal dev definitely doesn't help. But yeah, definitely a good value pick, and you have to remember we got an extra first round pick next year for trading down. So I definitely think we did well there. Jimmy Townsend is not as good as I thought he would be even. I thought he would be like a 74 overall. I guess his strength just isn't that good, surprisingly. But he'll still start for us, could turn into a good player, we'll see. Just yeah, bad power, bad strength. D. Cox is pretty good. 74 overall will be, I guess, our 4th corner. But if we get rid of like Emmanuel Mosley, he could start eventually. That's really good value regardless for the 4th or 3rd round. And then let's not talk about Matt Tate. The CPU did okay. I mean, they took a 68 overall corner. Yay, another corner, but he doesn't look bad. So not the best draft, not a terrible one. I kind of knew from the beginning that it wouldn't be amazing, but we did pretty well. But here is a look at the team heading into year number 2 of the rebuild. Honestly, there isn't much change here on offense literally at all. We added Townsend on the offensive line and Isaiah Hodgins as the number 3 receiver for now, and that's it. That's literally the only change on offense, is those two. But you know, obviously Jameson Williams got the superstar dev last year. I mean, there are some upgrades for sure, but it's relatively the same as year 1. And then on defense, again, same deal. We only made 2 changes. We drafted Joshua Callaway, who did get a like preseason breakout thing. I went run stopper because that's his scheme, and now he's up to a 77 overall, 78 with morale, so that pick keeps looking better and better. I think that was a really good one. Is it the most exciting? Not really. It's a defensive lineman, but it's a really valuable position. And then we're also going to start D. Cox as the number 3 corner / nickel corner, or I could just start him as the straight up 3. I think I'll do that, and then obviously put CJ Gardner-Johnson as the nickel corner. I don't know why I didn't do that. So yeah, now that's all good. But with that, I'm excited to see how the team can do this year. Hopefully we are better than last year. It'd be hard to be worse than last year, but it is definitely possible. We'll have to see. So with that, let's get to the mid-season point of year 2, and hopefully we're doing pretty well. Okay, so I guess we are technically worse at the mid-season point of year 2, sitting at 3-4. Now we were 3-3 last year, and I would imagine we lost that next game because we went 6-11, so we're probably the same as last year, but not great. We would definitely hope to be better. It's still not an amazing team, but it's an 81 overall. What did I upgrade it to? Okay, an 82 after all the upgrades we got, so we should be better, but it is what it is. Where do we rank in the league? God, I don't feel like counting all this, dude. Oh yeah, I saw this earlier. Madden sucks. So y'all know how they updated like all the faces and stuff? Not all of them, but like a lot of them, and broke half of them. They also put the wrong face for Lamar Jackson. I think that is the cornerback Lamar Jackson, if I had to guess. I don't get it, because you are a multi-billion-dollar company and you shouldn't make that mistakes, or those kind of mistakes, but I get if it's like 2 lower level players that have the same names, like if it's 2 backups or something that have the same name, but how do you get the wrong face for a top 5 NFL fucking quarterback? How does that happen? There is no way EA is a real company. I feel like we're all being pranked. Like we have to be getting pranked. But we actually rank pretty high in the NFL in terms of team overall. I mean, there are definitely better ones. Like, we're slightly above average, I guess, so 3-4 is about fair. Obviously, we want to be better, but it's fine for now. And then for re-signings, you know, Jonah Jackson was really, really terrible last year. How is he doing this year? 4 sacks allowed already? He's on pace to be at like 10 again. I'm not going to re-sign that. That's terrible. And then it's backups, Josh Reynolds, Charles Harris, Khalif Raymond. I mean, I guess there's Tracy Walker here too, Romeo Aquara. These 2 are here because I cut them and then re-signed them just so they would be cheaper. Is it cheesy? A little bit, but I guess it's like restructuring a contract in real life, and that's not really a thing in Madden, so you gotta do what you gotta do. We'll see if we want to re-sign either of those 2. I mean, Aquara was terrible the first year, and he looks pretty expensive, and yeah, he's not really doing anything this year, so I think we're gonna let him go. He should be playing here, should be playing better here, but it's Madden, so what do you really expect? I complain a lot, I'm sorry, but I feel like it's warranted. I don't feel like it's unnecessary. Well, it might be, but I feel like it's valid. But with that, let's get to the end of year 2 and probably miss the playoffs. Okay, well, I probably shouldn't have said that we would hopefully be better this year, because we somehow ended up being worse at 5-12, only winning 2 more games throughout the rest of the year. Not super great. I think we're gonna switch playbooks here. Ooh, Jared Goff was not great. I mean, for real life, again, that's a solid season, but for Madden, that's not all that good. We might move on, we'll see. Jahmyr Gibbs finished with 969 yards. Nice. 4.1 per carry, only 2 touchdowns though. David Montgomery did get a good amount of carries, 120 for 453 yards and 16 touchdowns. Would have been nice if Gibbs could have had all that too, but it is what it is. Jameson Williams finished as our number 1 receiver, surprisingly, with 1,000 yards, but only 4 touchdowns. Among us, St. Brown with 967 yards, 7 touchdowns. Sam Laporta with 855 and 9. Isaiah Hodgins with 777 and 4 touchdowns. Lucky season from him. Blocking was pretty miserable once again. Frank Ragnow was good, but that's it. Jack Campbell led the team with 130 139 tackles, 123 for Rodriguez, and 102 for CJ Gardner-Johnson. Oh, tackles for loss, 15 from Aquara and Callaway, 10 for Hutchinson, and then sacks. What the fuck, dude? 4.5 for Callaway led the team. I mean, that's a good year, but Aiden Hutchinson with only 4 sacks. 3.5 for Aquara, 3 for McNeil, 2 for Onzarike. Not a good year for a group that I thought would be good and will be good in real life. Maybe not so much the interior, maybe McNeil, but sacks-wise at least, just terrible here. And then interceptions, CJ Gardner-Johnson with 4, 3 for Jack Campbell, and then 1 for a few players. So pretty good from the top 2 there. Let's check out the yearly awards. MVP goes to Josh Allen. Will Levis up there, that's interesting. Offensive Player of the Year goes to the White Boy Cooper Kupp. Thankfully, they finished 7-10, which isn't too great, so that's good for us. No Lions up there, though. That's not very surprising. Shaq Barrett wins Defensive Player of the Year. Also no Lions. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Steve Williamson. I'm guessing a new QB for the Buccaneers. Oh, I'm glad Courtney Clifford didn't win it. That would have sucked for us, because now we do actually need a QB. But we're going to have 2 pretty good picks. Hopefully we can find one. No Lions up here, though. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Jalen Diggs of the Cowboys. So now they have 2 Diggs. You know what they say, 2 Diggs are better than 1. I'm sorry. Joshua Callaway at number 3. And oh, great, Paul Martin at number 2. That's fun. So the 2 players that I maybe was thinking about get number 2. At least neither of them won it, but still. And then D. Cox at number 8. There are lots of, like, really sus things in this video. I'm sorry if you didn't expect that from me. But welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't, because I'm like this all the time for some reason. Oh yeah, and I also want to check, what are, like, the best offenses we could go with? Or best playbooks in general, I mean, not just offense. The Bills were good. The Titans were good. I don't know if I trust the Titans, though. I mean, they have Derrick Henry. I feel like that definitely inflates it, although I feel like Josh Allen probably inflates the Bills. Bengals, whenever I use them, they suck. You know, I never really know which offensive playbook to go with. Let's do the Bills, I guess. And then defensive, let's try... I feel like the Bucks have a really good defensive roster, so maybe that wouldn't be the best, but it could work. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Bills and Buccaneers. Couldn't really be too... no, I shouldn't even say that. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. That's what I did this year, and we were somehow worse this year than we were last year. So, Bills offense and Bucks defense. Sounds good. That works. Wow, that's a Super Bowl. 2 of the newer teams in the NFL, I guess, technically. I mean, the Titans are old. They're just the rebranded Oilers, but them being the Titans is new. And the Panthers were an expansion team, right? They weren't a relocation. No, I think they were the same time the Texans came around. I think. Either way, weird Super Bowl. You know, I think they both have good coaches. I'm actually a Frank Reich truther. I've said that a few times on the channel. Could backfire big time, but I really like him. And then why can I not think of the Titans coach's name? Am I all right? It's not that late yet. It's only like 9. Mike Vrabel, good lord. I had to search it. I had to fucking look it up. I'm stupid. Ooh, league-shattering upgrades here. I did practice squad Matt Tate, but luckily no one took him. I guess it didn't really matter, but yeah, that wasn't a great pick from us. And for re-signings this year, I don't think we're gonna re-sign anybody. I mean, Jonah Jackson has allowed 17 sacks in the last 2 years. That's not great. I mean, I would re-sign him in real life for sure, but here he's just doing terribly. I mean, backup. Just a lot of backups here, and then Tracy Walker barely got on the field last year. Romeo Aquara has been awful, and then just more backups back here. So I'd rather go in with 111 mil to work with than a bunch of mid. So that sounds like a good plan to me. Ooh, Sam Laporta went up to superstar dev. We'll definitely take that. He has been good. It doesn't really say why, but we'll take it. And on defense, no dev ups here, but our defense as a whole is looking good. I mean, we still probably need an edge in a defensive lineman, but overall the team is looking good. And then on offense, we definitely need a guard, probably a better third receiver. I don't even know if we really need a running back because Gibbs hasn't been like terrible. It's hard to get lower overall running backs to play well in this game sometimes, but in free agency, oh, that would be kind of fun. Ooh, he's been doing really well. Do we try it, or is that way too crazy? I feel like it loses realism, but he's gonna go to a new team regardless here, so I mean, why not us, you know what I mean? Will we get him? Probably not, but we might as well try. It's better to be able to say that we tried rather than not try at all. You know what I mean? mean, ooh, that's the new Damian Lewis picture. Why does one eye look so much more open than the other? Does he have like a lazy eye or something? I don't like that. They need a better picture. That kind of scared me at first. That's interesting. All right, so we are going to be going for a full 5 players in the first round of free agency here, the first week. It's going to be Justin Herbert, some usual faces in Trayvon Diggs and Brandon Ayuk. Just both of them are always here and both of them are always good. So why not? They're both kind of the channel regulars at this point. We're also going to go for Justin Madubuike and Matt Hennessy because elite name, obviously. I honestly kind of don't think we're going to get Justin Herbert. I mean, we're only tied for the lead. I went very player friendly. Still not like a full 5 bars of interest, but at least it's 4. We'll see what happens. We do have the lead for Trayvon Diggs, but I feel like that matters less now. I feel like they messed with something and made it harder to sign free agents even when you have a lead. Maybe that's just me though. We're the only team interested in Brandon Ayuk. There are 3 other teams equally interested in Justin Madubuike, and Matt Hennessy, we're the only one going for him so far. So let's see if any of these players sign. I do think all of them will sign, but I think we'll get probably 3 of the 5 is my guess. So everybody does sign, and I was right. I just know this game too well. But we get Justin Herbert, which is crazy. I don't get quarterbacks in rebuilds that much, just because sometimes I feel like it's more fun to draft a QB, but if someone like this is available, then I'm definitely gonna go for it. So we're getting like a top 5 QB. That's pretty massive. We're also getting Brandon Ayuk and Matt Hennessy. Unfortunately, we didn't get either of the defensive players. Trayvon Diggs, like I expected, goes to the Bears. I feel like it's almost a bad thing to have like a 5-star lead over someone with like a 4-bar level interest. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like more often than not, the player signs with like the 4-bar team. Maybe that's just me though. I don't know. It's kind of what it seems like. Carl Lawson back to the Jets. That's interesting. But where did Justin Madubuike go? He went to the Giants. Okay. We could go Leonard Williams. He's expensive though. Well, that's a weird picture. What the it's like a side shot. That's weird. I kind of hate that. All right, well, since we didn't get Justin Madubuike, I still do I want to sign a defensive lineman? You know what? Yeah, we still have money. We'll go Zach Sealer. Hopefully we can get him. I think he's the only player we're going to go for the remainder of this free agency at least. But let's see if we can get him, and we do not. The Saints are also interested. So we'll try player friendly. It's 3 years, 31.2. At this point, it might just be better to draft someone, but if we can get him, we'll take it. So let's see if he signs. He signs, and we don't get him. So, okay, that was pointless. It is what it is. All right, well, the good thing about sucking is, well, when your mother does it, but the other good thing about sucking in this game is getting a good draft pick. We have the number 3 overall pick. Also, I don't know why the Dolphins always suck in this game. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, they have one of the best rosters in the NFL. Madden just hates them, apparently. But what do we want to do here? God, I never know what to do with, like, really high picks. Darrell Hughes looks solid. I don't know if he looks top 5 good. I mean, he's not, like, that fast for a speed rusher type. He might be worth taking, but I'm not, like, super convinced. What do we want to do? Is Jalen Redd good? I feel like that's an actual NFL player name, but no, probably not. His finesse moves isn't all that good. Typically, you want at least A for an outside linebacker, and just in general, if it's this high of a pick. And then this guy's a 1st to 2nd round talent, so we're definitely not taking him yet. You know, we could trade down again if we wanted to. It's either that or we take Darrell Hughes. I mean, what can we get? We're not really getting offered all that much. I mean, we can pick up a 2 and a 7 to move down 3 spots, or 2 spots, I guess. But those 2 picks probably aren't going to matter as much. They'll be next year when we're probably like done drafting. I mean, maybe there'll still be something we need, but you know what? We might as well. That's like the best value we can get. It's only 2 spots. I think the guy we're going to pick anyways will still be there, but now that I said that, he'll for sure get taken. The Raiders, they go Damian Caldwell this high. That makes me a little scared for the Seahawks pick. Okay, they don't screw us twice. They go Steven Weber, a tackle out of Boise State. So I do think we're going to go Darrell Hughes. Am I? I don't honestly think he's that good, but it's like one of our last needs, and he's like the best one at this position. I don't think he's worth anywhere near this pick. I think he'll be like a 72 overall. I'm just hoping he has a dev trait. He might be better than a 72, but the block shedding isn't good and the pursuit isn't good. so that's not great, and those are two pretty important stats. And his combine wasn't good. He's not very strong, and for a speed rusher, he's not fast. I'm calling it 72 overall normal, maybe 73, but he's 6'5", 258, 21 years old, left-handed, just like me for real, out of Arizona. Let's take him. Okay, he has hidden at the very least. He's not very fast or strong like I expected, but he has good acceleration. I don't know how I feel about that pick. I'm just glad he at least has hidden. He'll probably be like a 72. My guess still stands, either 72 or 73, but we pick just 5 picks later, obviously from the trade down with the Rams. Thank you for sucking, Rams. We could go Jalen Red just as insurance if that guy isn't good. Nah, he has a hidden dev. I think we're fine to stick with just him. You know what I kind of feel like doing? I kind of feel like pulling off a crazy trade. We might lose some of the realism between the Justin Herbert move and a trade if I do make one, but you know what? It's more fun, so I don't care. It's my rebuild. I'll do what I want. You know, I'm kind of glad this didn't go through now that I think about it, because this really wouldn't make sense. I mean, giving the Packers Jared Goff would be kind of a win now move for the Packers, because he would be an immediate upgrade in terms of overall at QB for them, but if you're going win now, why would you get rid of Jair Alexander? So maybe it's for the best that this didn't go through, just logically speaking. So yeah, I don't know if trading Jared Goff in a player-for-player trade would make very much sense, but I'm gonna do it anyways. We're trading Jared Goff in a first-round pick to the Saints for Marshawn Lattimore, a 3 and a 4. Is it a crazy trade? Yes. Is it realistic? Maybe not, but do I care? Not in the slightest. We are repairing Marshawn Lattimore and CJ Gardner-Johnson back together. And wasn't Dan Campbell like part of the Saints at one point? We're basically building the All-Saints roster. I mean, I guess those are like the only Saints connections here, but still, we now have the All-Saints team. I can already tell there's gonna be at least 1 or 2 people that will not like that move at all, but I don't really care. I think I'm gonna take a couple defensive linemen with the next 2 picks. The first one I'm gonna go for is Jamal Hightower, which is a really cool name, especially for a defensive player. I mean, if he was like a receiver or something, that wouldn't be as cool of a name, but for a defensive lineman, that's like arguably the best name you could have. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But if you average his combine and his pro day, he ran around a 4.9, about 38 bench reps, elite strength, good overall ratings. I wish he had a little more pass rush, but you can't really expect that. He's just a pure run-stopping guy. Let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately, but should be an immediate overall upgrade, and I think we're going to take another one. The double dip strategy is always fun when you already have a good team. Like, you might as well do it. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anyone left that's good. Well, shit. I mean, Juan Ridley looks really good, but he's a pure nose tackle. We're not going to move him out to defensive end. We could move maybe Aleem McNeil, but I don't know. 45 bench reps at the combine. A 5'18" isn't even like the worst for someone who's 6'1", 331 pounds. Really good overall ratings. Of course, no pass rush once again, but good run defender. Let's take him. I don't know if he'll have a dev trait. He doesn't, but again, should be a good overall. I like it. Overall, we had a really good draft. We almost entirely went defense. We did with the top 4 picks. Darrell Hughes, I mean, I'll give myself like a half point here. He is a 73 overall. At outside linebacker, he was a 74 at defensive end. My guess was a 72 or 3 with normal, so I don't know if I really get a point. Not that there are any points, but you know, he does look like a decent player. Was he worth a top 5 pick? Definitely not, but could turn into someone that ended up being worth a top 5 pick. You never know. Obviously not very athletic, but I mean, he does have really good acceleration though. And 80 finesse moves, which is very nice for a rookie, so he looks like a good player for sure. Jamal Hightower is a 73 overall, obviously normal dev, isn't quite as good as I was hoping for. Really bad pass rush moves, worse than I expected, but really good strength, good tackle, so I guess that makes up for it. Will probably start, maybe. Juan Ridley is a better player though at a 75 overall, 97 strength, good tackle, good excel, even worse pass rush, but really good run defender. And then I took this Hayden Lowry guy. He was really weird because he had like 3 A stats. It was power moves, pursuit and tackle, I think. But you might notice he has 69 strength, which nice. But as a defensive end, 69 strength, it was like 16 reps, I think it was. So yeah, not exactly strong, but has good ratings. And if he was strong, he would be a really good player. Stayed the same overall from defensive end to outside linebacker, which isn't surprising because he wasn't a strong player to begin with. And then I did make this pick too, Clayton Eppard. He was supposed to be an undrafted player, but I took him in the 4th round and it was definitely worth it. 96 speed is going to be like our 6th receiver, but looks like a good one, so we'll take it. And then the CPU, like usual, didn't really do much, but we did pretty well. We kind of overhauled this defense and we're looking pretty good now. Okay, my fucking screen recorder has been doing something stupid lately. I've talked about this before, it's been freezing. Like, it'll still record, it'll record my audio, but it'll get like stuck just on something and like it won't record any of the visuals. It'll just record my audio and for example, it was stuck on this screen and wouldn't move off of it. So I guess I'm just gonna have to do the team breakdown right here, even though we're at the midseason. I'm glad I caught it, but obviously here is the team in year number 3. We're an 86 overall now, 89 offense, 83 defense. Big changes here on offense, bringing in Justin Herbert, Brandon Ayuk, even Matt Hennessy will hopefully be a big upgrade because Jonah Jackson was pretty terrible here. And then on defense, obviously the new rookies. We had a draft day trade for Marshawn Lattimore. Unfortunately, Darrell Hughes only has star dev, but that's still good. I mean, it's better than normal. Could have been better for sure, but we'll take it. But yeah, of course, we're at the midseason now, and at the midseason, we're chilling at 4-3. Now, the whole division is good. We all have winning records, so I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs. Probably not, if I had to guess, but I'm glad we're just better this year than we have been. We're 9th in points per game on offense, 15th in defense. Our run defense is bad, but I don't know how, because Jack Campbell, run defender, Malcolm Rodriguez, run defender, Hightower, run defender, McNeil, run defender, Callaway, I think he's also a run defender. How is our run defense bad? That doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. God, I've said that like a million times during this rebuild, but it truly just is what it is, man. Nothing I can really do about it. I can only make the team as good as I can. But for re-signings here, we honestly kind of have a lot, and we don't have that much money. So Among Us St. Brown, we obviously want him back. We'll just go very player friendly. I don't even want to risk losing him. That sounds weird. That sounds like he's my lover, which, you know, I wouldn't complain. Why am I making so many sus jokes in this video? I'm sorry, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, finally not calling him Among Us. I'm sorry for that too, but 6 years, 154 mil. That sounds insane, but I think it'll be worth it. Let's re-sign him, and he does re-sign. Beautiful. Now, CJ Gardner-Johnson isn't interested. Now, to be fair, I think he's only on a 1-year deal in real life, so maybe he should have been re-signed by now, but it is what it is. We'll try very player-friendly, 5 years, 80.5 mil. He does re-sign. David Montgomery is our number 2 running back. Like, we can find probably even a better one than Jahmyr Gibbs, so we might upgrade there this offseason if we can afford it. Taylor Decker, of course, his contract year is the first year he's actually doing okay. He's allowed 25 sacks in the last 2 years. True EA moment. I don't necessarily want to re-sign him because I know he will regress back to how he was as soon as we do re-sign him, but I don't want to have to worry about finding another I mean, it doesn't really get much worse than he has been playing. But someone did tell me that having a good quarterback, or just certain quarterbacks in general, can affect how your offensive line plays, which I guess makes sense. No, yeah, it definitely does. Obviously that's a big thing. Like, the best quarterbacks have good pocket sense and can tell when a defender is coming and they can get out of it, so that won't count as a sack for the tackle if they can get out of it, or the lineman in general, I mean. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. So maybe Taylor Decker will play better now. We'll see. Let's re-sign him, and he does re-sign. I'm a little reluctant, but we'll see what happens. And then Aleem McNeil, I mean, he hasn't been like amazing. I don't know if he's worth re-signing. Unfortunate tackle for loss numbers there. Good thing we're not a New York team, but yeah, I mean, we'll hold off. We obviously drafted a defensive tackle last year, and he's not interested. Everyone else here is just a bunch of backups too, so we'll think about Aleem McNeil if he randomly becomes more interested at the end of the year, then maybe, but for now we're chilling. So with that, let's get to the end of year number 3. All right, so super quick before I reveal how we did in year number 3, if you have not already, be sure to to like, be sure to subscribe. I mean, if you've made it all the way here, clearly you enjoy a little bit, so both of those help out a ton. I would very much appreciate it. Plus, it'll make you an OG of the channel, and it'll help the channel grow, so I appreciate it. But this is how we're looking at the end of year 3. I mean, definitely some development here. We have Justin Herbert playing +4 for some reason, up to a 98 overall. Here's a look at the defense, also looking very nice. But in year number 3, almost said 4, I need to sleep, we went 7-10, missing the playoffs. We're just not a second half of the year team. I mean, every single year we almost win no games in the second half. I don't know why, but it's annoying. Justin Herbert was very good this year. He was definitely not the problem. 5,200 yards, 40 touchdowns, only 7 picks. Was very good. Jahmyr Gibbs was not very good. Only 847 yards, only 3.7 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns. Not ideal. We were definitely a pass-heavy offense. 1,500 yards for Among Us St. Brown, 15 touchdowns, 1,200 yards for Jamison Williams, only 4 touchdowns though, but Brandon Ayuk with 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Even Sam Laporta, 846 yards, 6 touchdowns. So 3 1,000-yard receivers, 3 over 1,100-yard receivers. That's pretty crazy. Blocking, of course, Taylor Decker goes back to being terrible. Jimmy Townsend was pretty bad. Penei Sewell wasn't terrible for Madden terms. Frank Ragnow was solid. Jack Campbell led the team in tackles with 162, 113 for Rodriguez. Tackles for loss, 13 for Hutchinson and Callaway, and sacks, 8 for Hughes as a rookie, but only 6.5 for Hutchinson. Since that first year, he has not been good. Hightower with 5.5, that's not great. McNeil with 4.5. Callaway with only 2. Not great, man. CJ Gardner-Johnson led the team with 3 interceptions, 2 for Malcolm Rodriguez, and then 1 for a few players. This is a frustrating rebuild so far. We should be a lot better than we are. But for yearly awards, speaking of frustrating, MVP goes to Jalen Hurts, barely beating out Justin Herbert at number 2. You hate to see it. Just out of curiosity, was Jared Goff up here? It does not look like he was. Okay, good. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Cooper Kupp, the white boy, as per usual. They went 13-4 this year. I'm glad we didn't have their pick this year. Among Us St. Brown at number 4. Russell Gage up there. That's interesting. Back on the Falcons. Justin Herbert at number 10. Nick Bosa wins Defensive Player of the Year. No Lions, unfortunately. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Chance Stevenson of the Saints. He wouldn't be a QB because we traded him Jared Goff. Could be like a tight end. I feel like that face is normally for defensive players though. That's interesting. No Lions up here. I don't think we had really any offensive rookies other than that receiver. And Darrell Hughes does win Defensive Rookie of the Year, so that's huge. Hopefully he gets Superstar Dev. We'll have to see. Jamal Hightower at 6, and that's it. So definitely glad we got Defensive Rookie of the Year. Just obviously I wish we were better this year. So with that, let's get into the offseason and we'll make this team better, but we'll see if that even helps. I don't know. In the Super Bowl, the Vikings take down the Chiefs 35-28. I've said it like a million times, but the Vikings are always really confusing in this game. They're either like number 1 overall pick terrible or Super Bowl winner amazing. Like they're either the best or the worst. It seems like there's almost no in between. I mean, there is, but at least once a rebuild, we either see them absolutely horrible or winning the Super Bowl. I don't know why, but it's a thing. And Darrell Hughes has 2 upgrades here. You know, if he doesn't have Superstar Dev, I'm gonna give it to him. I feel like he should get it for winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, but we'll see. Okay, he does get it. 86 finesse moves already. I can't wait for him to play terribly next year for no reason. That'll be super fun. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then for re-signings here, I mean, we could re-sign Aleem McNeil in free agency, but I just want to see who's available there. I mean, there could be a better player that is more interested in the team, so I think we're gonna wait there, and then everyone else, again, just kind of backups. I mean, Cameron Sutton has been decent. I could re-sign him, but we could also try to upgrade. So yeah, let's get into free agency, and hopefully we can make some moves to make this team actually play well, although it's definitely hard. I feel like I've done my job enough, though. I mean, this is a really nice roster. Ooh, that'll definitely help. I don't want to jinx it, because I feel like I've done that a lot in this rebuild, but God, do I even want to say it? If we can get at least most of these players, this can be the best team we have ever built. Like, seriously. We're going to be going after Najee Harris. Just Jahmyr Gibbs hasn't really been cutting it, as I kind of expected. In real life, I definitely do think he will be a lot better than he has been here, but here he's just been kind of terrible, honestly. I mean, he was fine one year, but but I don't know. JC Horn, we're also going to be going for, will be our third corner to make like the nastiest corner trio of all time. With him, Marshawn Lattimore, and CJ Gardner-Johnson. Quinn Miners we're going to try to get, although he's probably going to sign with the Bills because we're 5 bars of interest, they're 4, so we'll probably go to the Bills. Same deal with Aleem McNeil, he'll probably go to the Saints. That rhymed, by the way. Same deal with Aleem McNeil, fucking bars. Let's go. Did I even talk about Najee? It's not even that late. I was going to say it's getting late. It's 10:19. It's really not that late, but I was going to go for Aaron Jones, but there were a lot of other teams interested, and the only other team interested in Najee right now is the Ravens, and they only have 1 bar of interest, so I can't wait for him to sign with them. I will probably delete the game and delete my channel forever. But with that, let's see if any of these players sign with us. They all sign, and we get all 4. That seems rare lately, but I will absolutely take that. That's pretty huge. Also, wait, now that I look at it, what does the position rank go off of? Because you see Najee Harris, he's ranked number 17, but David Montgomery's ranked number 1? What the fuck? Does it go off of like age, overall, and scheme fit? No, because by that logic, why would Leonard Fournette be number 6? That makes no sense. What is this? Why is Aaron Jones only number 10 and Najee is number 17? This game is stupid. I think we've established that, though. I don't think that's controversial to say, but God, this team is good. Also, Among Us St. Brown went up to X Factor. That's huge. Jack Campbell went up to X Factor too. Kirby Joseph went up to Superstar. This team is crazy. I can't wait to go 8-9 next year. No, we're gonna go 9-8, and we're barely gonna miss the playoffs, and I'm gonna absolutely scream. All right, now in the final draft of the rebuild, we have the number 9 overall pick. We don't really need anything though. I mean, ooh, Enrique, or where did I read Enrique? Eddie Tongue. I need to sleep. Oh my God. This guy actually looks good though. I mean, we literally do not need a QB, but he does look good. I don't know what we would do with him, but he looks good. But I guess we'll go with another defensive lineman. I mean, that's really like our biggest need. The guy we drafted last year is only a 73 overall. Ooh, Corey Crompton looks really good. He might have to be the pick here. Curtis Lucas also looks pretty good. I guess Corey Crompton is technically supposed to go higher, and he is faster. He potentially has really good speed for a guy this big. Let's take him. Hidden Dev, 78 speed, 89 strength. That was a good pick. Is it great to take a like pure run defending defensive lineman in the top 10? Not necessarily, but did I do it? Yes. Do I regret it? No. So we're chilling. Ooh. I have a dilemma here. Austin Benson is really athletic. I just don't love his play rec. That's kind of concerning because that's a pretty important stat. But Stephon Carey isn't quite as athletic, but is fairly athletic. I think he has higher awareness and probably has higher play rec and is a year younger, but Austin Benson kind of looks like more fun. He's stronger and faster. Yeah, let's take him. Why not? Hidden Dev, 91 speed. I don't know if he's going to start, but he'll be a really good third linebacker. I'm just kind of taking depth at this point. I mean, that's all I really can do. I don't know if this guy is good or not, but he's a really good blocker. Although, blocking stats confuse me, because he has A pass block and A run block, but C to D run block finesse and D to F, like I am with your mother, run block power. That was such a lame joke. I'm sorry, but I don't know. Either way, he has good blocking stats, I guess. Good catching traffic, but bad spec catch. Good short route, good medium route, really bad deep route though, good awareness. He's confusing. He's not like that athletic at all. He had a lot better of a pro day than combine. A lot better, actually. I don't know. He's weird, but let's take him. He does have hidden, so he could be a solid number 2 tight end. Again, we're just kind of filling out depth here, getting those like second guys all good, and just kind of going with like the best players I can find. But with that, I think I'm just going to simulate the rest out, and hopefully the CPU can do well, although I doubt it. All right, well, I accidentally skipped over the draft recap screen. I just woke up. We had a good draft though. Harvey Roper, the tight end, is a 73 overall. The center we took is good. What else did we do? I don't even remember. We took a linebacker. He's pretty good. The defensive end is a 74 overall. And I guess that's it. But here's a look at the team heading into the 4th and final year of the rebuild. We're looking very nice. Herbert up to a 94. Among Us St. Brown, obviously with X Factor now. Sewell hasn't been playing well. He typically does in Madden and in real life, obviously, but hasn't been playing well here, but he is up to a 93 overall at the very least. This is a really good roster. And then on defense, something interesting is Hayden Lowry has superstar dev as like our 3rd/4th guy. So I'm trying to get him playing time, but I don't know if he'll really develop at all anyways in the last year. Overall, our offense and defense are looking very good as a whole, but yeah, our offense is definitely much better than our defense. So I definitely love how this team is looking. I'm super excited to miss the playoffs, but let's simulate straight to the end of the year, and hopefully we can somehow actually make them for the first time in this rebuild, which is crazy. This game is a fucking joke. Well, here we are at the end of year number 4 with a 90 overall team, the best team, or probably tied for it, that I have ever made, realistically, of course. But before I reveal how we did, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe if you want to see me get screwed over by Madden 3 times a week. Again, 250 likes and 3350 subs and I'll be very happy, but I just want to check for reference so I can complain extra hard. Where does a 90 overall team rank in the league? So there we are at a 90. What is the next closest team? So far, it's an 86. The Chiefs have an 88, so they're good, but it looks like we have the best team in the NFL by 2 whole overall. And really, outside of the Chiefs, it looks like we're the, well, not outside of the Chiefs, but just for the NFC, it looks like we're the best team in the NFC by 4 overall. But I guess let's see what went wrong. Justin Herbert was fine, 4,900 yards, 38 touchdowns, 12 picks. Of course, that would be a really good year for real life. Here it's good, but probably not worth the money that we're paying him. Oh, that's great. Courtney Clifford was better. Najee was a monster, 1,500 yards, 6 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns. Jamison Williams and Among Us St. Brown were both really good. Ayuk was good, and Laporta was fine. Blocking, this is where I'm guessing things went wrong. Penei Sewell's been dog shit, honestly. Taylor Decker was good. Matt Hennessy wasn't good. Frank Ragnow wasn't good. Quinn Miners was good, though. A lot of tackles here because our defense couldn't get off the field. 26 tackles for loss for Callaway, 19 for Hutchinson, 12 for Hughes and McNeil, and then sacks, 7.5 for Callaway, only 7.5 for Hutchinson, though. He's been terrible, too. I mean, that's not terrible, but for what he should be, that's nowhere near it. Hughes with 6 sacks, 3.5 for McNeil, and picks. Gardner Johnson's been good. Lattimore was good. Joseph was good. I mean, the stats don't even look that bad. We just didn't get hardly any pressure. Our offensive line kinda sold. And again, this season would have been good for real life for Justin Herbert, but for Madden, use your listening skills, people. For Madden, this is not a good year. Because I've said quarterbacks haven't had a good year in Madden, and people were like, oh, people think 30 plus touchdowns and 12 picks is bad. For Madden, you fucking dumbass. Not for real life. But I guess it's time for me to reveal how we did. I switched the playbook at the midseason because we were literally 2-5 at the midseason. So I switched the defensive playbook because we had like the 29th defense in the NFL, but we finished 9-8, not making the playoffs a single time with a 90 overall team that probably would have been even better if we had even a decent amount of success. This team is cursed. I tried to get good playbooks. I tried to build a very good team, which I was successful with, but Madden was still like, go fuck yourself, buddy. So unfortunately, with a god squad, we can't even make the playoffs. Literally the best team in the NFC by 4 overall, the best team in the NFL by 2, and we barely have a winning record and miss the playoffs. I hate this game. Oh, and just to make it even better, Corey Crompton has Superstar X Factor, still didn't do anything, and we're not going to get to develop him throughout his career. I hate this game. When does the contract between the NFL and EA expire? Because it couldn't come any sooner. Good lord. But of course, if you enjoyed me complaining today, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. I can only do so much here. I feel like we did pretty well, all things considered. Not in terms of record, but the team is super fucking crazy. But that's it for me today. Again, 250 likes, 3350 subs, and I'll have another one of these cooked up by Thursday. Hopefully it doesn't go this poorly though, but I hope y'all enjoyed, and with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.